All right, let's get into it. I want you to forget everything you think you know about the apocalypse. You know, the bleak, silent, gray wastelands. We're going to fire up the engine on a world where, yeah, the bombs dropped, but the beat never did. This is a road trip through a different kind of America. One that's broken for sure, and definitely dangerous, but it's also still rockin'.
And that right there, that's the voice of the Boomlands, cutting right through all the static. See, this isn't some quiet world of grim survival. No, this world has a soundtrack. Radio is king, and the culture is always cranked to 11.
So let's set the scene. November 24th, 1972, the day after Thanksgiving. The emergency broadcast system cuts into an episode of Sanford & Son. But this time, it's not a test. Soviet warheads are coming. And just like that, the world as we know it hits the pause button, frozen in time in a haze of atomic fallout and pure 70s swagger.
That one moment froze America in 1972, but it couldn't kill the culture. So let's really dig into what that means. What's it like to live in a rock and roll apocalypse, a wasteland where the music literally never died?
And this is where you come in. You're not just some random survivor. You're a diner punk, a road warrior with a real purpose. You're the lifeline for your whole community, the one brave enough to hit those broken highways to haul back food, fuel, medicine, and maybe a few good stories to tell when you get back home. Okay, so this is a really crucial difference. On one hand, you've got the drifters. These are the lone wolves we see in pretty much every other post-apocalyptic story. But diner punks, they're totally different. They have a home, they have a community, people who are counting on them to make it back. See, survival isn't just about you anymore. It's about everyone back at camp.
And this line from the book, it just nails it, doesn't it? This whole world is about fast cars and atomic horrors, for sure. But underneath it all, it's about hope. It's about community and actually trying to rebuild. And that responsibility, it changes everything. It gives you a reason to get back on the road, and it raises the stakes for every single run you make.
But that sense of community, it didn't just pop up out of nowhere. The place they call the Boomlands had to claw its way back from total devastation. So let's roll the clock back a bit and see how this new society started to pull itself together.
So it all starts with the big boom in '72. For a couple of really desperate years, everyone who survived just huddled in shelters. When they finally came out, they formed these small, isolated camps, and they were usually fighting over scraps. But the real game changer came in 1977. That's when Captain Fallout's radio signal sliced through the static, connecting everybody for the first time. Suddenly, traveling wasn't a total gamble, and that kicked off what they call the Diner Age, a whole new era of trade, convoys, and the first signs of a fragile but real society.
Okay, now for the really fun part. Let's hit the road and take a quick tour of this bizarre new American continent. Our guide? A legendary trucker they call Rubber Duck. So buckle up.
We're starting in the heartland, a place called the Drag. I want you to picture just endless plains, a massive sky, and a kind of hypnotic boredom that's so powerful they actually gave it a name, the Nothing. This is basically the breadbasket of the Boomlands, full of farm co-ops and hidden moonshine stills.
Out here, the dangers are this weird mix of natural and not so natural. You've got radioactive twisters spinning across the plains, and you'll see these old silo murals that have been repainted as post-apocalyptic billboards. But probably the creepiest thing you'll see is the shadow herd, the actual silhouettes of a herd of cows flash-burned right into a concrete underpass by a hot twister. It's haunting.
All right, let's shift gears to a completely different vibe, the swamplands. This is like the bayou on steroids. It's crazy humid, super dangerous, and just crawling with mutant critters and all kinds of strange stuff. You're definitely going to want a guide for this leg of the trip.
And the weirdness here is just cranked way, way up. I mean, six-legged frogs are common. When the rad storms roll in, they bring this eerie green lightning with them. But it's the local legends that'll really get you, like the story of the Voodoo Cadillac, a ghost car that some folks swear will guide lost travelers back to the main road.
Our last stop is going to throw us straight into the dust fields, and yeah, this is pure Mad Max territory out here. It's just a brutal landscape of water barons, oil drillers, and bandits who use the constant dust storms to ambush people.
Yeah, you heard that right. Giant ants. Not to mention the Red Riders gang, moto jousting tournaments in an old stadium, and then there's Cooter. Cooter's a local legend, a cryptid that's basically a giant armadillo the size of a bus that really likes beer. The dust fields are absolutely not for the faint of heart.
So that's the world you're driving through. A beautiful,
totally bizarre and often deadly landscape. But how do you survive it? Well, it's not just about having a fast car. It's all about the crew you ride with. So let's take a look at what it takes to put together a convoy that can actually make it.
Every good convoy is like a well-oiled machine. It starts with the mule skinner. That's your leader, the one who plans the route. Behind the wheel, you've got your ace driver, the wheelman. For protection, you need a grunt, who handles the heavy lifting and any trouble that comes your way. And keeping the whole thing running is the scrap monkey, the mechanical genius who can fix anything with duct tape and a dream. Everybody's got to play their part to make sure you all get home in one piece.
So what are you actually doing out there? Well, it could be a simple milk run to a nearby diner, nice and easy. Or maybe it's a salvage job in a dangerous old ruin. You could be running a decoy to draw fire away from another crew. Or if you're feeling really brave, you might take on a black bag job, where the less you know about the cargo, the better. But what really ties all of this together, the car, the crew, the open road, what's the one thing that connects it all? It's the sound. The entire culture of the boomlands is defined by what comes crackling through the speakers of your car radio.
I mean, really think about that for a second. There's no internet, no TV, not even newspapers. Radiation radio isn't just entertainment. It's the nervous system of this whole new society. It's how you hear about road conditions, radar activity, which diners are safe, and the latest legends born out on the road. It's literally the glue holding the boomlands together.
And the kind of culture that grows out of that? Well, it gets weird. The single most popular tape that circulates around the boomlands is a supposed broadcast from President Nixon's bunker, and it is completely unhinged. And this isn't just a funny little detail. It perfectly captures the dark, bizarre sense of humor you need to have to survive in a world like this.
So, that's the world of diner punks. It's a grimy, hopeful, and uniquely American apocalypse. The highways are open, the radio is on, and the only real question left is, what kind of legend will you leave on the road?